Sins of Youth. This film is a powerful lesson, something that all young men should watch, but maybe none more so than young Hispanics. This long film revolves around three young men and how the mistakes that they made in their youth sent them down darker paths. It's certifiable how a few choices we make when we're young define how your life can turn out. It's a cautionary tale. At multiple points, this could have stopped, but stubbornness, ego, and a misconstruction of loyalty results in a wave of pain, suffering, regret, and dead bodies. The hothead cousin Paco becomes a Marine and straightens out his life. The artist Cruz becomes an addict. But perhaps worst of all is Miklo, a young man torn between two lives, born of a white father and Hispanic mother, rejected by his mother's people at first. He has a thirst to prove himself and leaves his life in shambles. The movie begins with Miklo arriving back in LA with his mother's side of the family. They are mostly good and law-abiding people, all except the young, hot-headed nephews and cousins. One evening while at Cruz's father's auto body shop, the three young men see a small local gang tagging up their part of the turf. Cruz tries to talk Paco and Miklo down and to just let it go, but Paco antagonizes Miklo into attacking the gang. This is one of the most cascading moments that turn into a defining story for these three young men. Cruz is attacked while out with a girlfriend and has his back broken. In an act of vengeance, Paco, Miklo, along with other gang members, ambush their rivals. This results in a shootout that has Miklo arrested and injured, while Paco is forced to enlist in the Marines to avoid jail time, while Cruz is left to become an addict, addicted to painkillers to deal with his back issues. Paco returns as an undercover cop who is going after drug dealers. Miklo, while in prison, does what he must to survive, including killing a rival gang member to earn his way into La Onda. There's a pertinent part of the film where Montana, Miklo's father figure and mentor in prison, tells him that within the prison walls, there is no place for Los Vatos or other gang members. It's simply a matter of race. It's us versus them. Montana gives us the wisdom of a man who has learned from his mistakes. Multiple times in the film, he tells Miklo to wise up, to get his education and gain his freedom, to leave behind the drug life. That the system wants Hispanic men to repeat offense so that they end up back in prison with more money for the complex. The only true victory is staying out of prison. He even says at one point, "Ever notice? You don't see any old drug dealers. That's because they either wind up dead or wind up in here." Meanwhile, Cruz's addiction results in his art show falling apart, along with the tragic death of his little brother who looked up to him. The tear results in his family leaving him behind. Paco continues to go through drug dealers, trying to kill it at its source. Montana pleads with his people that peace between the black and Hispanic community are what's needed to stand a chance against the AV. Eventually, Paco and Miklo are on a collision course. After getting out of prison, Miklo is disenchanted with his lack of opportunity. A botched robbery and an encounter with Paco results in him losing one of his legs and being thrown back in prison. With all out war pending, Montana is attempting to have peace between, at the very least, the black and Hispanic gang members throughout LA. However, after being assassinated, it's violence all out in the streets. Paco tries to get Miklo to deal a truce. Miklo eventually works with the black leaders to cripple the AV before pulling a Michael Corleone and having multiple members of the black gang killed as well, leaving La Onda on top and expanding. The tragedy in all of this is the fact that it could have been avoided. The mistakes that they made as young men resulted in what they become. I don't believe in predetermined fate, but I do believe that your habits in your youth most likely reflect who you will become, for better or for worse. This movie is easily an 8 out of 10 for me, something that I would recommend other people watch. But what did you think? Let us know down below, we'd greatly appreciate it, and we'll catch y'all next time. See everybody.